All right. Welcome, everyone, to Salt Air. This is episode 3, I believe, of our new and improved relaunched Salt Air. We are so excited to have you here where we're going to get granular about salt. I am your host, Janae Andrus. I am the community manager for Salt Project, and we're excited to have you here so that we can talk about something really cool called Tiamat. And I've got Thomas Hatch here, the creator of Salt himself, to talk about it. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
So, he's really enthused to be here. If you guys could all go down and click the subscribe button, his energy might ramp up a little and it will be great. No, but really, we don't want you to miss an episode. We're really excited to be here. Go ahead and click subscribe now so that you don't miss any future episodes. And let's just get right into it. Tom, the reason I want to talk about Tiamat today is really only for one reason. I'm just going to come clean about it. It's because of your mug on a mug. So this is the tumbler that we did with Tom's face and all of his hatchisms. And there's one in particular on here that I think we need to talk about. Let's see, we have several.
I have many.
You do have many, as you can see on this fantastic tumbler. We have, that's the kind of crap that got us in this situation to begin with, which is a great one. We have probably my favorite. I know it's wrong, but it's okay to like wrong things. And then we have, it's called Tiamat, which, as you all know, is the name of the ancient Babylonian goddess of the salt sea and the symbol of the chaos of primordial creation. So that's a fun one. And that really talks about why you named Tiamat what you did. So first, what is Tiamat? And then we'll talk more about why you named it.
So Tiamat's a great little tool because inside of the Python ecosystem, so Salt's written in a programming language called Python. And inside of the Python ecosystem, it carries with it one of the classic problems that you run into with any interpreted programming language. You've got to already have Python installed on the computer to run Python code on that computer.
Right.
And so what Tiamat does is it allows us to build an application that's written in Python in a single binary that doesn't require Python to be installed on the target system. And this is something that people have played around with Python for years because Python is one of the world's most widely used programming languages, and it's incredibly popular. And a lot of people have wanted this for a long time, but it's proven to be a difficult thing. So what I did was step back and said, look, instead of trying to solve the problem of building Python applications into a single binary, I'll take somebody else's work because they've done the hard part, and I'll just wrap that in an application that makes it really, really, really easy to use and makes it actually work so that you can just push a button really quick and say, oh, I have a binary, instead of having to jump through all these hoops to deal with the fact that all these other tools that are out there are just really, really hard to use.
And isn't that just the way to do it? Piggybacking on what's there. It's just so much more efficient.
Yes. I'd much rather stand on the shoulders of giants than try and do something useful.
No, absolutely. I love it. Brilliant. Of course. So, okay, let's talk then about why you picked Tiamat. Because, I mean, as we all know, it's the name of the ancient Babylonian goddess of the salt sea.
So the reason why I picked the name Tiamat was because the old stories that are associated with Tiamat, going back to the Babylonians, are that it was a being who brought about order from chaos.
Very nice.
That's certainly something that we run into in this situation.
That sounds like my job. I feel like my new nickname should be Tiamat.
Yeah, sure. It's also a 3-headed dragon in Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, I take it back. I don't want to be.
If that's what you're going for.
Hey, you don't know me.
I was about to say I'll avoid any comments on applicability of that name.
You know what? Let's move on.
So the thing about bringing order to chaos is that inside of the Python ecosystem, just packaging up and bundling and delivering software has been really hard for a very long time. Because what happens is that it's all about taking a collection of Python source code and bundling it up in such a way that it can be reliably installed on other systems. And there are a lot of ways to do that inside of Python right now. For instance, there's pip, which can an easy install, which can go out to PyPy and download Python code and get it running on your system. But even then, the ways that you package up that code, it can be packaged up as a Windows executable. It can be packaged up as a wheel file. It can be packaged up as an old Python package tarball. And even then, there are more tools for packaging these things, right? There's the built-in distutils. There's setup tools. And now there are even more tools for building these packaging things. And so I decided to do the thing that always brings order out of chaos and unifies a disparate world of many standards together, is to just make a new standard so that there's another one that we all have to deal with. And so that's what Tiamat is.
I love it.
But at the same time, it's meant to bring order to chaos. It's meant to say, this makes it really, really, really easy to build and distribute Python projects. And we've already got a number of people in the community using it for generic Python projects.
Well, that was my next question, is how people in our SALT community, how Tiamat can apply to them right now. Like, what's the applicability that you see for current SALT users?
There's really two veins of applicability that are worth noting. One of them is that we're working really hard to make it so that Tiamat is the standard way that we distribute SALT. Now, SALT is one of the world's most complex and largest Python projects out there, which means that we've got our work cut out for us. If it's like making it in New York. If you can build SALT, you can build anything.
Oh, now I just want to sing Liza Minnelli. If you can make... Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, technology.
You were saying if you could make it here, you could make it anywhere.
That's right. So, I mean, if we can build and deploy SALT with Tiamat, clearly the project is going to be flexible enough to handle the vast majority of Python projects that are out there. And so we've already not only had a lot of people who've gotten a lot of use out of Tiamat, and also we've got other technologies that make use of Tiamat. So Heist, for instance, relies on being able to have a single binary available as it's distributable.
Heist being another one of your creations.
Yeah, so Heist is our ephemeral agent dispatch manager, one could say. It can also be used for agentless, et cetera, et cetera. We should probably do a show on Heist sometime.
We should. Let's put it on the list.
Okay, so the other thing that's really useful with Tiamat is that it can be used for almost any Python project that's out there today. Now, this makes it really convenient for somebody who's writing any arbitrary Python code to be able to just package that sucker up. And so now you're able to go check out the Tiamat documentation and see that you can take your Python code, add a little file that we call a run.py file, and then build it. So I'm actually sitting here and I'm debating if we should try a demo on the fly.
Ooh, impromptu demo. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see if I can just do this. I'm going to share my screen here.
I love this. I'm actually really excited because we weren't planning to do a demo for this episode.
Yeah. So,
but here we go.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay, don't sound that surprised that it works.
Okay, let me start off. Well, we can't do a demo that works on the fly that works the first time.
That's fair. You have another Hatchism about that. I've got this mostly working.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So POP, or plugin-oriented programming, is the framework that Tiamat, among many other projects, is built on top of. And POP is a structured programming paradigm, blah, blah, blah. But it comes with a little tool called POP-seed that's going to give me everything I need so that I can demonstrate this super fast. When I run POP-seed, it says, congratulations, you've made a new POP project called Goo. And now I can run my new POP project called Goo. And it's like, oh, it works. And if we take a look at this piece of software here, right, we got some Python code going on. How Tiamat works is that Tiamat needs an entry point. Okay. And that entry point means that this is the location that we're going to execute when we begin writing the code. That entry point is usually just the startup script. And so all we've got to do is then be able to point Tiamat at or run Tiamat in a code directory that has a run.py file. And we have to make sure that Tiamat is installed. And then we've got to remember that I don't remember how to run my own software because this is a demo on the fly. So this actually makes it a better demo because I didn't have any of this stuff actually installed. So let me explain what happened really quick because it didn't work.
Ooh, and we learn our best lessons from that. So walk us through it.
That's right. So what happened, and this is actually a really good example, is that I've got Python 3.9 on my laptop here because I run Arch Linux, and Arch Linux always has the latest stuff. And so what happened is that we use something called PyInstaller. Okay. We use PyInstaller to be able to build artifacts with Tiamat. PyInstaller is typically a little bit behind on the version of Python. And so Tiamat actually comes with the ability, here we go. Oh, good, and I've got it installed. Tiamat actually comes with the ability to use another piece of software called PyEnv, okay? So that we can build it against a version of Python that isn't currently installed on your system. And this is incredibly useful because what that does is it allows us to say, hey, I might have, right, a newer version of Python installed, but I want my build to use an older version of Python or a different version of Python. And so what's really slick about this is that this then allows us to go out and dynamically build Python and then use that Python build to generate the actual build that we've got going. Now that I'm using PyEnv, though, the first time that you do it, it takes forever, which means that I'm going to actually stop this demo and wrap up because we're out of time.
We are out of time. But I really enjoyed that because it's fun watching you have to navigate that from just a raw point without having it, preconceived and pre-canned, right? Well, we do actually have several members of our SALT community who are really well versed in Tiamat, Randy Thompson in particular, and he's actually speaking at our virtual meetup here soon, March 17th. So we're excited about that. So Randy Thompson's a great champion of Tiamat in our community, and we actually have a Tiamat channel in our community Slack. So if you want to be able to talk to other engineers and other people, those of you watching who want to get more involved in Tiamat, that's a great place to start, is get on the community Slack and join the Tiamat channel and chat us up in there. So Tom, any parting words to people who are really psyched about what they learned about Tiamat today?
Give it a try. Hopefully it works for you.
Yeah. So if you want to create order out of chaos and you're not looking for a three-headed dragon, we have a great optional of Tiamat for you. So jump into Slack and join us on the Tiamat channel. And we are all over. You can find us at saltproject.io. That is your source of all things Salt Project. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time.